You slept 8 hours last night, maybe even 9. You drank your coffee, you ate breakfast, you did everything the experts told you to do, and yet, here you are, exhausted, drained, running on empty before the day has even truly begun. You've tried everything: more sleep, less sleep, supplements, exercise, meditation apps, cold showers, dopamine detoxes. You've read the articles, watched the videos, followed the advice. Nothing works. And deep down, in that quiet space you rarely visit, you're starting to wonder if something is fundamentally broken inside you. If maybe you're just weak, lazy, defective. You're not. What you are is exhausted for reasons that no amount of sleep will ever fix. Because here's what nobody tells you: the tiredness you feel isn't in your body. It's in your soul. Din. And today, here on Stoic Mindset, we're going to tear apart the lies you've been told about fatigue, expose the hidden energy vampires that are draining your life force every single day, and give you the ancient wisdom that transformed emperors, slaves, and philosophers into men and women of inexhaustible power. This isn't motivation. This isn't self-help fluff. This is the brutal, uncomfortable truth about why you wake up exhausted and go to bed depleted, and what to actually do about it. If you're tired of being tired, stay until the end. What you're about to hear might be the most important 8 minutes of your entire year: the modern epidemic of exhaustion. There's an epidemic spreading across the modern world. It's not a virus. It's not a disease you can see under a microscope. It's a silent plague of exhaustion that's affecting millions of people who, on paper, should have no reason to be tired. Think about it. We have more comfort than any generation in human history. Climate-controlled homes, machines that wash our clothes, cook our food, transport us anywhere. We have instant access to entertainment, information, connection. Our ancestors would have killed for the life we take for granted. And yet they, who worked 16-hour days in fields, in mines, in factories, they weren't consumed by this chronic, soul-crushing fatigue that has become our daily companion. Why? Because they were tired for the right reasons. Their bodies were exhausted from meaningful labor. Their minds were engaged in survival, in purpose, in the immediate demands of existence. But you're tired from scrolling, from worrying, from pretending, from carrying invisible weights that never get lighter no matter how much you rest. Marcus Aurelius, the philosopher emperor of Rome, who ruled the most powerful empire on earth while writing some of the most profound wisdom in human history, wrote this in his private journal. It is not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste much of it. Life is long enough, and it has been given in sufficiently generous measure to allow the accomplishment of the very greatest things, if the whole of it is well invested. But when it is squandered in luxury and carelessness, when it is devoted to no good end, forced at last by the ultimate necessity, we perceive that it has passed away before we were aware that it was passing. Read that again. Life is long enough. So why does it feel so short? Why does it feel like you're running out of time, out of energy, out of yourself? Because you're not investing your life. You're hemorrhaging it, drop by drop, by scroll, by worry, by compromise. And today, we're going to stop the bleeding. Lesson 1. You're living someone else's life. The first reason you're always tired, and this is the one nobody wants to hear, is that you're not living your own life. You're living a performance, a carefully curated, socially acceptable, algorithmically optimized version of existence that was designed by everyone except you. Think about your actual day. How much of it is spent doing things you genuinely want to do? Not things you should want to do. Not things that look good on social media. Not things that make your parents proud or your friends jealous or your boss satisfied. Things that make your soul come alive. For most people, the honest answer is almost nothing. You wake up to an alarm because society tells you when to be awake. You eat breakfast or skip it based on whatever diet is trending. You go to work at a job you chose based on salary, stability, status. You come home, you consume content. You go to sleep, you repeat. Where in that schedule is there room for you? The ancient Stoics understood something that modern psychology is only beginning to rediscover. Nothing is more exhausting than pretending to be someone you're not. Seneca wrote, "It is not the man who has too little that is poor, but the one who hankers after more." What difference does it make how much there is laid away in a man's safe or in his barns, how many head of stock he grazes, or how much capital he puts out at interest, if he is always after what is another's, and only counts what he has yet to get, never what he has already? You're chasing things that don't belong to you. A lifestyle that isn't yours. Standards that were never meant for you. Dreams that were implanted in your mind by advertisements, by movies, by the curated highlight reels of people who are just as lost as you are. And this chase, this endless, exhausting pursuit of someone else's finish line, is draining every ounce of energy you have. Here's a truth that might hurt. You cannot rest in a life that doesn't feel like yours. Your nervous system knows the difference between authenticity and performance. Your body keeps score. Every time you betray yourself, every time you say yes when you mean no, every time you smile when you're dying inside, every time you shrink yourself to fit someone else's expectations, a little piece of your energy dies. And no amount of sleep will bring it back. The Stoics called this living according to nature. Secundum naturam vivere, not nature as in trees and rivers, but your nature. Your unique constitution, your values, your purpose. Marcus Aurelius asked himself every morning, "Is this the kind of person I want to be?" When's the last time you asked yourself that question? When's the last time you made a decision based on who you actually are, rather than who you think you're supposed to be? Your exhaustion is your soul screaming for authenticity. It's time to listen. Lesson 2. The war you're waging against reality. There's a battle happening inside you right now. A war that's been raging for years, maybe decades, consuming massive amounts of energy with every passing moment. It's the war between what is and what you think should be. This is the second great drain on your life force. Resistance to reality. Every moment you spend wishing things were different than they are is a moment of profound energy loss. Every time you replay a conversation that already happened, trying to change the past. Every time you catastrophize about a future that may never arrive. Every time you look at your life and think, this isn't how it was supposed to be, you're fighting reality, and reality always wins. Epictetus, born a slave and crippled by his master, who became one of the most influential philosophers in human history, taught this principle above all others. Some things are within our control, and some things are not within our control. Within our control, our opinion, motivation, desire, aversion, and in a word, whatever is of our own doing. Not within our control are our body, our property, reputation, office, and in a word, whatever is not of our own doing. This is the fundamental teaching of Stoicism, the dichotomy of control, and most people violate it thousands of times per day. They try to control what others think of them, exhausting. They try to control the economy, the weather, the traffic, exhausting. They try to control the past, impossible and exhausting. They try to control the future, equally impossible and exhausting. Here's what's happening in your brain when you resist reality. Your mind creates a model of how things should be. When reality doesn't match that model, it triggers stress hormones, cortisol, adrenaline. Your body prepares for a threat that doesn't exist, at least not in the physical world. But your nervous system doesn't know the difference between a real threat and an imagined one. As far as your body is concerned, a traffic jam that makes you late is the same as a tiger attack. A rude comment from a colleague triggers the same fight or flight response as a physical assault. You're activating your emergency systems dozens of times per day for things that don't matter, for things you can't control, for things that exist only in your head. And then you wonder why you're tired. The Stoic approach is radical acceptance, not passive resignation, but active, conscious acknowledgement of what is. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Accept the things to which fate binds you, and love the people with whom fate brings you together, and do so with all your heart." This isn't about giving up, it's about redirecting your energy. Stop fighting battles you cannot win. Stop exhausting yourself against immovable obstacles. Save your energy for what you can change, your own thoughts, your own actions, your own character. That's where your power lives. That's where your energy should flow. Lesson 3. The weight of unmade decisions. Every decision you haven't made is a weight you carry. Every email you haven't answered, every conversation you've been avoiding, every commitment you made that you know you should break, every change you know you need to make but keep postponing. These aren't neutral. These aren't just tasks on a to-do list. They're energy vampires. The psychological term for this is decision fatigue. But it goes deeper than that. The Stoics understood that incomplete actions fragment the soul. When you say you're going to do something and don't do it, a part of your psyche remains attached to that action. It's like leaving tabs open on a computer. Each one uses processing power. Each one drains the battery. And if you leave enough of them open long enough, the whole system crashes. Sound familiar? Seneca observed, "It is not that we have so little time, but that we lose so much. The life we receive is not short, but we make it so. We are not ill-provided, but use what we have wastefully." Look at your life right now. Really look. How many unmade decisions are you carrying? That job you know you should leave, but haven't? That relationship you know is toxic, but can't end? That apology you need to make but keep avoiding? That dream you've been postponing for someday? That conversation you've been dreading? That boundary you need to set but fear the consequences? Each of these is a leak in your energy tank. And no matter how much you try to fill it, with sleep, with coffee, with motivation, it keeps draining out through these holes. The Stoics practice something called premeditatio malorum, the premeditation of evils. They would deliberately imagine the worst-case scenarios before taking action. Why? Because fear of the outcome is worse than any actual outcome. The anticipation of pain is more exhausting than the pain itself. When you make a decision, any decision, you close that loop. You stop the energy leak. You free up mental resources that were being consumed by indecision. Even if the decision is wrong, you can correct it. You can learn from it. You can move forward. But an unmade decision, it just sits there, festering, consuming. Here's your challenge. Identify the 3 biggest unmade decisions in your life right now. Then make them. Today. Not because you'll make perfect choices, you won't, but because the energy you'll reclaim from closing those loops will transform your capacity for life. Decide, act, move on. That's the Stoic way. Lesson 4. You're addicted to suffering. This one's going to be controversial. But here at Mentalidade Stoica, we don't deal in comfortable lies. Here's the truth. Part of you is addicted to your own exhaustion. You've made tiredness your identity, your excuse, your shield. Think about it. When you're exhausted, what can't you do? You can't take risks. You can't pursue your dreams. You can't be held accountable for your unrealized potential. You can't show up fully for the people who need you. Being tired is the perfect excuse. It's socially acceptable. It's universally understood. Nobody can argue with "I'm just so tired." But what if your exhaustion isn't happening to you? What if, on some level, you're choosing it? The Stoics were brutally honest about human psychology. more honest than most modern therapists. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "If you are distressed by anything external, the pain is not due to the thing itself, but to your estimate of it. And this you have the power to revoke at any moment. Your estimate of it, your interpretation, your story about what's happening. Many people are attached to their suffering because it gives them something. Maybe it's attention, maybe it's an excuse not to try. Maybe it's a familiar feeling in a world that feels chaotic and unpredictable. Suffering can become a comfort zone. Exhaustion can become an identity. And identities are incredibly hard to change because the mind will fight to prove itself right. If you believe you're just a tired person, your brain will find evidence to support that belief. It will ignore times when you had energy. It will amplify every moment of fatigue. It will make sure that your reality matches your story. Seneca understood this deeply. We suffer more often in imagination than in reality. You're telling yourself a story of exhaustion, and then you're living it. I'm not saying your fatigue isn't real. I'm not minimizing your experience. What I'm saying is that the story you tell about your fatigue matters more than the fatigue itself. Is tiredness something that's happening to you, a victim narrative? Or is it feedback from a system that needs adjustment, an opportunity narrative? The same experience, two completely different energy outcomes. One keeps you stuck, the other empowers change. Choose your story wisely. Miu, mid-video CTA, the hype moment. And speaking of stories, before we continue with the next lesson, I need to ask something of you. If you've made it this far, you're not an ordinary viewer. You're a seeker. Someone who wants more than surface-level advice. Someone who's ready to face uncomfortable truths. And I need your help. Here at Mentalidad Stoica, we're building something more than a YouTube channel. We're building a movement, a community of individuals committed to ancient wisdom in a modern world. But this work takes resources, time, energy, dedication. So if this content is speaking to you, if it's making you think, making you question, making you grow, I'm asking you to click the hype button right now. Hype is the currency of connection on this platform. It's how we signal to each other that this wisdom matters. It's how we ensure the channel Mentalidad Stoica can continue bringing this philosophy to people who are suffering, who are lost, who are desperate for guidance. Every hype you give is a vote for wisdom over noise, a vote for depth over distraction, a vote for truth over entertainment. So if you believe in what we're doing here, hit that hype button now. Let's continue. Lesson 5, the poison of comparison. There's a thief in your mind. He's been there for years, stealing your energy without you ever noticing. His name is comparison. Every time you scroll through social media and see someone living a life that looks better than yours, energy stolen. Every time you compare your beginning to someone else's middle, energy stolen. Every time you measure your interior, your doubts, fears and struggles against someone else's exterior, their curated, filtered, carefully presented highlight reel, energy stolen. This isn't just psychology. This is physics. Comparison is a mental activity that consumes actual metabolic resources. Your brain burns glucose, your stress hormones spike, your nervous system activates. And for what? To feel worse about yourself. The Stoics were obsessed with looking inward, not outward. Marcus Aurelius wrote in his journal, a journal never meant to be published, specifically to stop himself from looking to others. How much time he gains who does not look to see what his neighbor says or does or thinks, but only at what he himself is doing to make it just and holy. How much time he gains, how much energy he saves. When you compare yourself to others, you're playing a game you cannot win. There will always be someone richer, more attractive, more successful, more talented, more lucky, always. And even if you reach the top of one mountain, you'll discover that there are infinite mountains you haven't even started climbing. This game has no end, only exhaustion. The Stoic alternative is competition with yourself, becoming better than you were yesterday, measuring your growth against your own potential, not someone else's achievement. Epictetus taught, "Don't hope that events will turn out the way you want. Welcome events in whichever way they happen. This is the path to peace." And also, keep your attention focused entirely on what is truly your own concern, and be clear that what belongs to others is their business and none of yours. Someone else's success is not your failure. Someone else's beauty is not your ugliness. Someone else's wealth is not your poverty. Is their journey. Your journey is yours. The only meaningful comparison is between who you are today and who you could become tomorrow. That's a comparison that energizes rather than depletes. That's a comparison that lifts you up rather than tears you down. Start there. Lesson 6. You've forgotten how to do nothing. When was the last time you did absolutely nothing? Not scrolling on your phone, that's consuming. Not watching TV, that's consuming. Not listening to podcasts, that's consuming. Not relaxing with a drink, that's escaping. Nothing. Pure, unproductive, uncomfortable nothing. Most people can't even remember, and this is killing your energy. Here's a truth that seems paradoxical but is absolutely essential. Rest is not the same as recovery. You can be resting, lying on a couch, sleeping 8 hours, taking a vacation, and still not recovering, because recovery requires emptiness. The ancient Stoics practiced what they called otium, sacred leisure. Not laziness, not distraction, not consumption disguised as relaxation, true emptiness. Seneca wrote entire letters about the importance of this practice. The mind must be given relaxation. It will rise improved and sharper after a good break. Just as rich fields must not be forced, for they will quickly lose their fertility if never given a break, so constant effort will sap our mental vigor. Your mind is like a field. You've been planting and harvesting non-stop for years, maybe decades, and you wonder why nothing grows anymore. You wonder why you're depleted. The soil needs to rest. You need to rest, not just your body, your consciousness. There's a practice called memento mori in Stoicism. Remember that you will die. It's often used to create urgency, to remind us not to waste time. But there's another side to it. If life is precious, if time is limited, then perhaps the most radical act is to spend some of it doing nothing at all. Not to be productive, not to optimize, not to self-improve, just to be. This terrifies modern people. We've been conditioned to believe that our value comes from our output, that rest is laziness, that stillness is wasted time. The exact opposite is true. Stillness is where energy regenerates. Emptiness is where creativity refills. Doing nothing is the foundation that makes doing everything possible. Schedule nothingness. Protect it fiercely. Let yourself be bored, uncomfortable, unstimulated. That's where your energy lives. Lesson 7. You're living in the wrong time zone. Not geographically, mentally. Your body is here in the present moment, but your mind is almost never here. It's replaying yesterday's mistakes. It's rehearsing tomorrow's conversations. It's reliving a decade-old embarrassment. It's worrying about things that may never happen. You are a time traveler, constantly leaving the only moment where life actually exists, the present, to wander through mental constructs of past and future. And this is exhausting. The Stoics understood this 2,000 years ago. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Never let the future disturb you. You will meet it, if you have to, with the same weapons of reason which today arm you against the present. And elsewhere, confine yourself to the present." These aren't poetic suggestions, they're survival instructions. When your mind leaves the present moment, it doesn't go on vacation. It goes to work. It starts simulating, analyzing, predicting, worrying. All of this uses energy. All of it activates stress responses. And none of it is real. The past doesn't exist. It's a memory, a reconstruction that your brain creates, often inaccurately. The future doesn't exist. It's a projection, a fantasy that almost never matches what actually happens. Only now exists. And here's the thing about now. It's almost always fine. Right now, as you're listening to this, are you in physical danger? No. Are you starving? No. Is there an immediate threat to your survival? Almost certainly not. Right now, in this exact moment, you are safe. The exhaustion comes from carrying the weight of imaginary pasts and imaginary futures into a present that doesn't need them. Seneca put it perfectly. True happiness is to enjoy the present without anxious dependence upon the future, not to amuse ourselves with either hopes or fears, but to rest satisfied with what we have, which is sufficient, for he who is so wants nothing. The practice is simple but not easy. Notice when your mind has left the present. Gently bring it back. Repeat. Forever. This is the essence of Stoic mindfulness, and it will save you more energy than any sleep hack, supplement, or productivity system ever could. Lesson 8. Your relationships are draining you. We need to talk about people, specifically the people you're allowing into your life, your time, your energy field. The Stoics weren't antisocial, far from it. They believed deeply in duty to family, community, and humanity as a whole, but they were also ruthlessly discerning about influence. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The object of life is not to be on the side of the majority, but to escape finding oneself in the ranks of the insane." And Epictetus warned, "The key is to keep company only with people who uplift you, whose presence calls forth your best." Look at the 5 people you spend the most time with. Are they adding to your energy or subtracting from it? Do they elevate your thinking or drag it down? Do they encourage your growth or make you feel guilty for changing? Do they reciprocate your investment or only take? Be honest. Because humans are social creatures, we absorb the energy of those around us. This isn't mysticism, it's neuroscience. Mirror neurons, emotional contagion, social psychology. Spend time with anxious people, you become more anxious. Spend time with negative people, you become more negative. Spend time with exhausted people, you become more exhausted. It's not their fault, it's not a moral judgment. But it is a reality you must acknowledge. Seneca wrote, "Associate with those who will make a better man of you. Welcome those whom you yourself can improve." The process is mutual, for men learn while they teach. Mutual process, mutual elevation, not charity, not martyrdom, not sacrificing your energy on the altar of other people's dysfunction. You are not obligated to set yourself on fire to keep others warm. And here's a harder truth. Sometimes the people draining you are the ones you love most. Family, old friends, partners. This doesn't mean you abandon them, but it might mean you set boundaries, limit exposure, protect your energy while still maintaining connection. The Stoics believed in duty, but not in self-destruction. You cannot pour from an empty cup. Fill yours first. That's lesson 9. You have no purpose. This is the deepest cut, the most fundamental reason you're always tired. You don't know why you're alive. You don't have a mission, a calling, a reason to get out of bed that goes beyond obligation and habit. And without purpose, everything is exhausting. The Stoics believed that humans are teleological creatures. We are designed to move towards something. When that something is clear, we find energy we didn't know we had. When it's absent, even the simplest tasks feel like moving through mud. Marcus Aurelius meditated constantly on his purpose. At dawn, when you have trouble getting out of bed, tell yourself, "I have to go to work. As a human being, what do I have to complain of if I'm going to do what I was born for, the things I was brought into the world to do?" What were you brought into the world to do? Not what pays well, not what impresses others, not what's safe and predictable. What's the thing that you would do even if no one paid you? The thing that makes you forget time. The thing that, when you're doing it, you feel most alive. That's your purpose. And if you don't know what it is, finding it should be your primary mission in life, because purpose is the ultimate energy source. It's why some people work 16-hour days and feel energized, while others work 4-hour days and feel depleted. It's not about the hours, it's about the why. Viktor Frankl, a psychiatrist who survived the Nazi concentration camps, one of the most horrific experiences in human history, emerged with this insight. Those who have a why to live can bear with almost any how. The prisoners who survived weren't necessarily the strongest or the youngest. They were the ones with a reason to live, a purpose beyond themselves. Purpose doesn't just make life meaningful, it makes it sustainable. Seneca understood, let all your efforts be directed to something, let it keep that end in view. It's not activity that disturbs people, but false conceptions of things that drive them mad. Direct your efforts towards something. If you don't know your purpose, that's your first task. Not more rest, not more self-care, not more optimization. Purpose. Find it. Everything else follows. Lesson 10. The cure. The Stoic Energy Protocol. We've diagnosed the disease. Now let's prescribe the cure. Everything we've discussed, living someone else's life, resisting reality, carrying unmade decisions, addiction to suffering, comparison, inability to rest, mental time travel, draining relationships, lack of purpose. These are the roots of your exhaustion, but knowledge without action is just entertainment. So here's the Stoic Energy Protocol. Practical steps you can implement today. Step 1. The morning audit. Before you check your phone, before you drink your coffee, before you do anything, ask yourself Marcus Aurelius's question. What kind of person do I want to be today? Write down 3 words that represent your highest self. Maybe it's focused, courageous, kind. Then ask, what would that person do today? What would they not do? This takes 2 minutes. It changes everything. Step 2. The dichotomy filter. Throughout your day, when you feel stress or anxiety arising, apply the Stoic filter. Is this within my control or outside my control? If it's outside your control, release it. It's not yours to carry. If it's inside your control, take action, immediately if possible. Stop spending energy on what you cannot change. Step 3. The decision purge. Make a list of every unmade decision haunting you. Everything you've been procrastinating. Every conversation you've been avoiding. Pick the 3 most important. Make those decisions today. Send that message. Have that conversation. Choose. Close the loops that are draining you. Step 4. The evening review. At the end of each day, Seneca did this every night. Review your actions. What did I do well today? Where did I fall short? What will I do differently tomorrow? This isn't self-criticism, it's self-awareness. It's closing the book on the day instead of carrying it into your sleep. Step 5. The weekly emptiness. Choose 1 hour per week, sacred, non-negotiable, to do absolutely nothing. No phone, no book, no music, no meditation app, just you and existence. Let your mind wander. Let yourself be bored. Let the emptiness refill what the world has depleted. Step 6. The relationship inventory. Once a month, evaluate your relationships. Who is adding energy? Spend more time with them. Who is neutral? Maintain appropriately. Who is draining? Set boundaries or distance. Your energy is not infinite. Guard it accordingly. Step 7. Purpose clarification. Spend serious time on this. Journal about it. Think about it. Experiment. What would you do if money wasn't a factor? What problems in the world do you feel called to solve? When do you feel most alive, most yourself? Your purpose is in the intersection of those answers. Find it. Then organize your life around it. If you've made it this far, truly made it, not just skipped ahead, then you're not like most people. Most people click away. Most people aren't ready for this level of truth. But you stayed. And that means you're ready for transformation. So here's what I want you to do. In the comments below, type the word restored. That's it. Just that one word. This isn't random, it's a filter. When I see that word, I know I'm looking at someone who's serious. Someone who's ready to reclaim their energy, their purpose, their life. And I read those comments. I see you. Type restored. Right now, before you forget, before the algorithm distracts you with the next video, claim it. The transformation. Let me tell you what's about to happen. If you apply even a fraction of what we've discussed today, something will shift. Not overnight, not magically, but gradually, steadily, inevitably, you will change. The exhaustion that has been your constant companion will begin to lift. Not because you're sleeping more or doing less, but because you're finally addressing the real causes. You'll start living your life, not a performance for others. You'll stop fighting reality and start flowing with it. You'll close the loops that have been draining you for years. You'll break the addiction to your own suffering. You'll stop comparing and start creating. You'll learn to truly rest, not just distract. You'll bring your mind home to the present moment. You'll curate your relationships with wisdom. You'll find and live your purpose. And the tiredness will transform, not disappear. Life requires effort, and good tiredness is earned through meaningful work. But it will become the tiredness of a life well lived, the good exhaustion of giving your all to something that matters, the deep satisfaction of going to bed empty because you poured yourself into the day. That's a different kind of tired. That's a tired you can be proud of. Marcus Aurelius spent his final years fighting wars on the frontier, dealing with plague, betrayal, and the collapse of everything he'd built. He was tired, but listen to what he wrote. When you arise in the morning, think of what a precious privilege it is to be alive, to breathe, to think, to enjoy, to love. This man, facing death and destruction, experiencing tiredness we can barely imagine, called life a precious privilege. Because his tiredness was purposeful, because his exhaustion meant something. That's what awaits you on the other side of this transformation. Not a life without effort, a life where effort matters. And this is just the beginning. Today we've uncovered why you're tired. We've given you the protocol to restore your energy. But there's a deeper level. Because exhaustion is just one symptom of a mind that hasn't been properly trained. The Stoics developed an entire system, a complete philosophy, for mastering the mind, regulating emotions, and achieving lasting peace regardless of external circumstances. And that's exactly what we cover in the next video. The 7 Stoic mental disciplines that will make you unshakable. If you felt something shift today, if this content spoke to you, that video will take you to the next level. Click on it now. It's in the description. It's on your screen. Don't let the algorithm steal this momentum. Keep building, keep growing, keep transforming. The journey continues. Remember, mentalidad, stoica, exists because there are people like you, seekers of wisdom in a world of noise. We're building something here, a community of philosophical warriors, a movement toward meaning, and you're part of it now. Until next time, stay awake, stay strong, stay stoic.